There are billions of animals in a shelter right now currently as we speak, wanting to find their forever homes. Some have been abandoned by the owners, and some possibly have never even had an owner or a home and spent their lives running the streets. Animals in shelters need to be adopted and taken out of the facilities where they are also with countless of other animals, and they need to be cared for by themselves with one family. The information that I'm going to give you today is from PETA, the Humane Society, and a blog from Our Cause for Paws. Today we will discuss how animals are cared for in the shelter facilities. Then we will discuss what happens to the animals if they aren't adopted. And then lastly, we will discuss why you should adopt and the effects of puppy mills. All shelters want what's best for their animals. However, some aren't interested in the well-being of the animal. First, we will discuss how the animals are cared for in the facilities. On average of 5,500 animals are killed in the United States each day in shelters. This can be due to coming into the shelters with bad conditions or neglecting of the animals, giving it the bare minimum to pass the state inspections. There are shelters who go by every day with the best interest for the animal. The animals can get treated for illnesses, rehabilitated back to health, ready to be adopted. However, resources can go so far, and the amount of animals in shelters, it is impossible to care for every single animal that comes into the facilities. Along with not being able to care for every animal that comes in, what happens if they aren't adopted or unable to be cared for by the shelter? Most of the time, the option is euthanasia. Now, some of you are probably thinking, that poor dog needed to be put down. You don't know what was initially wrong with it when it came in. And you're correct, I don't know what every patient has wrong with them. However, I do know that on average, 733,000 shelter animals are euthanized due to overpopulation and not being adopted. Overpopulation happens when people do not adopt. In June, a Waco animal shelter had reached full capacity, and they posted on their Instagram that if the animals were not saved, the owners would have to make difficult decisions. Later on, the capacity was able to be lowered. However, this is an example of overpopulation in shelters and what can be the effects of it being overpopulated. Lastly, we are going to discuss why you should adopt. Adopting animals are a lot better than puppy mills, or for instance, PetSmart is an example of a puppy mill, where animals are produced back to back by the same mother, and they're not cared for properly as they should be. For example, the mother is bred back to back. The puppies are taken from their mothers at an early age, and therefore they are not developed the same as dogs in the shelter can be, for example. The puppies themselves aren't bad in puppy mills. However, when the customer is given a puppy, they don't know what effects the puppy can have later on and are piled on with bills because of the producer's neglect for the animal. In conclusion, billions of pets are wanting a forever home, a place where they don't have to worry about where their next meal is going to come from and how they're going to be treated. Today we discussed how animals are treated in shelters, the effects of not being adopted, and the statistics, and why you should adopt, and the effects of puppy mills. Next time you are walking around PetSmart and you see the adorable little kittens or the little puppies, remember that there is a cat or a puppy who was wanting to find their forever parents inside a shelter that you had possibly passed by on the way to the store. Thank you.